Okay, welcome back to Coaching Conversations. We're talking with Chris Skarlatos again here today. And today we're going to have a conversation about price and vendor management. And the reason we're doing that is that over the last 60 to 90 days, Chris has consistently outsold his competition. His days on market are less and he's been getting some great results. So Chris, tell us a little bit about what you're doing differently to your competition.
I suppose from my point of view, it's just servicing the clients. And we're in a market at the moment where you need to have a lot of conversations, and the conversations are not just only happening with the owners, but you've got to stay on top of all the buyers that are out there, or there is less buyers out there. We've seen the statistics, and you just got to have constant conversations and be honest with them.
Yeah.
And the more honest you are with them, I suppose, and I've become better. Initially, as the year progressed, you go into that, is it really kind of sliding that bad? But you bring on your years of experience and go, hang on a sec, this was like that last time. If buyers aren't throwing you offers at you, it's clearly a price issue. If you're getting the numbers through the property and they're not committing to the property, it's pricing. And it's just, I suppose, going back and looking through the toolbox and going, okay, so what do I have to say here? How do we get around that? And obviously this spring has sharpened those tools. You're back on and thinking, this is that more normal market that we haven't had for 7, 8, 10 years even. And we're back into that rhythm. We're having a lot more conversations with the owners because you need to, and have a lot of that. Obviously, discussion is and setting benchmarks. I think the big thing is with us is you pre-list or post-list, you have that expectation and you set it early, and you kind of set that framework where you've got to have so many email inquiries, so many internet hits, so many people through on the first open home. And if those numbers aren't getting hit, and if they've ticked all the marketing boxes, then it can only be one thing.
It's just price.
So it becomes an easier obstacle to overcome, because the owners actually now know if we don't hit 15 groups through or 12 groups through on the Saturday, because that's comparable to that other property, it's a price thing. And they're adjusting themselves because they know those are the benchmarks you set. And we're pretty good. We're using case studies, and we're getting better at using the case studies through the process where we show, look, this is what this campaign looked like. This is how the result. So owners are going with that flow.
Fabulous. So we refer to that as a set to sell meeting. Are you religious in delivering a set to sell meeting for every piece of business you bring in, or are you selective?
I'm still kind of selective. Like there's some owners that I feel need it, and there are some owners that I feel like I'm okay with. And that's very much me being the relationship I would have with that particular person. Sometimes in hindsight, I'd look back and think I should have had one. But, that's the way it goes. But I'm getting better at basically making it for every meeting at the moment, because I think they're very receptive to it. But I paint a good picture at the listing point. So I've always been an open book. Like people have always said, sometimes I was too honest to be an agent when I first started, because I like to be honest about the pricing. So my pricing has always been pretty accurate. So we're not that far off usually. It's more harnessing their expectations, because other agents may have been in there and, overinflated.
Surely not. So in the set to sell meeting, we're talking about the objective feedback that we receive from the marketplace. So as you referenced, we're kind of having a conversation around the activity from the portals and the inquiries, and even the number of people that we've had through the open home or contracts or offers. And, typically speaking, we measure that over a 7-day term. So Chris, I just wanted to ask, once we've got that data and the data is suggesting that it's maybe not as attractive as it would like to be, are you going back in and meeting with that vendor with the purpose of adjusting their guide after that first 7 days?
Yes.
Great.
So we have scheduled meetings with our vendors on every Tuesday. We try and have it. Or Monday afternoon, because by then we've done 2 rounds of calls on the people that would have come through, because we do all our callbacks on a Saturday afternoon. And then we do a follow-up on Mondays.
Fabulous.
That way we try and get them early, so we can, in this market, I think you've got to act quick. And that way, if we do need to make an adjustment, we can adjust it before the following week's opens and all that, and get the ball rolling as soon as possible.
And would you typically have that price adjustment conversation in person, or would you be doing that over the phone?
Always in person.
Always in person.
Always in person.
Fabulous.
Never do it over the phone.
Yep, just like door knocking.
Just like door knocking.
Great. And I did notice when I stepped into your back office before that you've adopted the model of the 3 pricing tiers for every property that you've got to market, where we've got the minimum market value and the fair market value. How has kind of having a slightly more clinical approach to managing your price helped you? Just in terms of understanding, what's an educational offer, what's a transactional offer, where do we need to be careful?
Very much so, especially to help us sell the properties.
Yeah.
We're seeing where the feedback's coming in, and like we're fortunate where we put all that into the CRM, and when we're given the reports, the CRM also gives the owners the idea where all the feedback's coming in for the buyers, so they're seeing it. So when you're relaying that information, it's just transparent, and they're saying, okay, so like we're marketing a home at the moment, the feedback seems to be hovering around that 1.8 zone, and the owners know that essentially where the buyers are at, and where they need to adjust to if they were to meet the market. And it enables you to have that conversation. And when owners can put that name to the situation, it paints their picture, and there's that person's circumstances of why they like their home or don't like their home. So it makes it a lot easier to have those conversations.
So it kind of connects emotion to a logical, pragmatic conversation.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fabulous.